fun. Let me just see if I can change this to low latency halfway through. Because I prefer to do low latency streams, even though I lose a bit of quality. I'm not sure, but I think it might be worth it so that I can interact with you guys a little bit more closely. Let me just close the door of my room so we don't end up with too much echo. And then we can dive right into it. Hey puppies, just in here with my dogs. All right. So, I think I've pretty much finished the Getting Started Guide API. So basically, in this video, I'm probably going to push that to production. I don't know if I'll be able to do that in a live stream, so I'll see how far I can get in a live stream without like showing things that I shouldn't be showing, like security keys and all that kind of crap. Yeah, and if I can, then we'll push that and we'll start building the Getting Started guide. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So if I list here, I've got the to-do API that I've been working on. So let's open that in VS Code. Make sure I can easily switch to my browser, and I can. And from memory, this is now complete. This API is now complete. And down the line, I might add like relationship APIs because you can do that really easy with Orion. In fact, let's just, should I just do that now? Maybe not. We'll do that in a little bit because the way you set up a controller might be different. All right. Let me just close the back curtain thingy in my den. And now we can see what it would look like to push this to production. And so let's jump into Forge. And I'm not going to show you the start of this page because I've probably got stuff that I shouldn't show you in relation to work. Honestly, I bet it doesn't even matter. But I got my QuasarCasts.com server. I'm going to throw this on the QuasarCasts.com server, but then like maybe later on down the line, I'll give it its own dedicated server. Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll give it its own dedicated server to begin with. Then I can sort of easily separate the two. And if it does get attacked, then this server doesn't go down as well. You know, that kind of stuff. Even though soon I'll be moving to Laravel Vapor. So, yeah, I can probably actually show you this now. So the root domain, I think I'll use what I've got here. So to-do-API will be the root domain. So to-do-api.quasarcast.com. Aliases, I don't know, maybe www. beforehand. And it's going to be a general PHP, actually not general PHP, we'll say static HTML. No, sorry, it is going to be a Laravel application. What am I talking about? Web directory public. Have I set this up as a monorepo? I can't remember if I did. I want it to be a monorepo, but I've ran into a couple of problems, I think, setting that up. The way I can check that is by going into the top directory, listing my files here. And have we got a Git file? No, we don't have a Git directory, so I don't currently have this set up as a monorepo, but I would like to do that at some point, but we'll just pass on that for now. So let's cd into QuasarCast, what did I call it again? Whoops. To-do-API, and then we'll say git init, git add dot, git commit, and we'll call this initial commit. Before I do that, I might just check that there's not things that I don't want to include. Storage routes, config. No, I don't think there's anything I need to add to git ignore, so let's keep it as that for now. And now let's open up GitHub. Once again, I'm just going to open this on my bottom screen here, just in case there's stuff that you shouldn't be able to see. Honestly, though, I think it's going to be fine. Yeah, I think this is going to be fine. So, have I got any API keys showing on here? I'm going to get like super paranoid now. Nope, that's all fine as well. All right, so let's throw this up here and create the repository. My repository name for websites that I do personally, I like to literally just call it the name of the website. So for example, to-do-api.quasarcast.com is what I'll call this. Description, dummy to-do API for QuasarCast guides. Should I make this public? Yeah, I mean, I might as well make this public. As long as, you know, people aren't going to do pull requests and stuff like that. Or who knows, that might actually end up being helpful in case I have any problems. Don't need to git ignore. choose a license. I probably should choose a license. I don't know, what's the license people are using these days? Oh gosh, I don't actually know anything about this stuff. I don't even care if people use any of my stuff, so I'm just going to leave that as default, just nothing but for now. Yeah, as long as people don't blatantly copy my videos, I don't mind if they use like some concepts that I've sort of doing in this API. So let's go ahead and create that repository. And now I'm going to copy this code here because I already initialized a Git repository. So let's come back to VS Code and basically just paste all of that in. Give that a second to push. And then when that's pushed, I should be able to refresh this page and then my repository will be up and running. So there it is there. Now I can copy this. Let's just copy it up here. That's the Git repository. And now I can just paste that directly in when it asks me for the Git repository. So just check all of this. Yeah, that looks fine. I will not need that. Nah, this is all totally fine. I don't even need a database, so that's really cool. So I've gone ahead and added the site. It's basically setting that up here. And when that site is set up, which it already is, I can now say Git repository. This will be a GitHub repository, and I can add mine in there. And the branch we're going to use is, yeah, we'll just use the master branch for now, and I might move to a production branch if I want to do more advanced stuff later on. Yes, I do want to install the Composer dependencies. No, I do not want to worry about deploy keys. Let's go ahead and install that and see if it works straight out of the box. Which it might do, because we're using Laravel Forge, and it handles a lot of the complexity for me, which is awesome. And while that's happening, I'm going to go into Cloudflare and basically set up all my Cloudflare related stuff. Once again, I'm opening this up on the bottom screen just in case there's stuff that you shouldn't be seeing. All right, so let's log into that. And it looks like this pushed okay. Oh, it looks like it doesn't do an initial deploy to begin with. That's probably why we've got no We'll enable quick deploy, and let's go ahead and deploy that now. Do we need to migrate? Oh, one thing I might actually have to do is create the Sqlite database. Oh, I really should have gone into my environment variables and set all that up. A little bit silly of me. Okay, so what's it saying here? Yeah, okay. Create the database and then try deploying again. So I wonder if the new Laravel Forge will allow me to do this, to create an Sqlite database. Doesn't look like that's a thing, which is totally fine. So what I'm going to do is I'll go into where is it? My environment variables. Why can't I find this now? Oh, that's because I'm not on the website itself. Let's go to sites, and it's down here. To do api.quasarcasts.com. Here we go, environment variables. Oh, I probably shouldn't show you that. Luckily, I just got that down in time because I'm going to have my app key in there, and you should not be seeing my app key. So let's look at a lot of this. Database related stuff. Let me go into .env here and just basically copy. Yeah, the only thing I had to actually set was the DB connection, and make sure that's set to Sqlite. So let's get that set up. I know this might be a bit boring, but hey, I'm doing the entire thing from scratch, so this is what you get. So I'm going to go ahead and save that, and now I'm actually going to want to go into that database. So I will copy the IP address, and I'll SSH in there. That's the wrong IP. I want the global IP address, the public IP address. And so now let's say forge at and that IP address. And since I have my SSH key set up, that should just work. Yeah. Sweet. All right. So I'm in the server. Now I want to cd into to-do-quasarcast.com. No. To-do-API. quasarcast.com. Seeding into database. And what was it called again? Database.Sqlite is directly sitting in that directory. So let's go ahead and create that. And I can literally just say touch database.Sqlite. And there we go. Let's city out of there and just try and migrate the database. Whoa, what happened? Oh, I can't say art. I don't even have my aliases on there. Man, that's annoying. Am I in the right directory here? Yep, PHP artisan migrate. Yes, I know I'm in production. That's totally fine. Sweet. All right, that's done. So we can get out of that and we can get out of that. What next? Next thing I want to do is make sure that Cloudflare is pointing to the right place. And like I mentioned before, I'm not going to show you me doing this. I'm going to do it on the bottom screen just in case there's stuff. But I'll walk you through what I'm doing as I do it. So I'm going into my website on Cloudflare. I'm clicking on DNS. I mean, honestly, there's not really anything private here, but I just want to be careful. And now I'm adding a record. And basically, I'm going to say that that A record is going to point to the IP address of my server. So I've already got the IP address of my server here. And I believe it was API-to-do or to-do-API. To-do-API. Yeah, so make sure that that's being sent to the right place. And that is done. So now let's come back into Laravel Forge and try deploying this again. I think I can now show you what I'm up to again. So here we go. Let's cross out of that and say deploy now and see if it works this time. And I think it might. I think that database thing might have been the only problem. All right. Sweet. Looks like there's no problems. I probably shouldn't show that log just in case once again. And let's try, oh, got a cough. There it is. You're not getting any edits here. Now let's go to check if it's worked. I'm guessing this is not going to work yet. Oh, actually, we need to do Ssl Certificate, of course. Not security. We want to go to SSL. And I'm just going to copy the current certificate that I have since it's set up to go for all of my domains. Let's go to clone certificate. And the one at admin.quasarcast.com, they're all the same. So let's just clone that certificate there. And so once that certificate is installed, I will then be able to activate it. And when it's activated, yeah, there we go. The website should work, but chances are the DNS settings haven't propagated yet. So let's just go ahead and check that. Oh, okay, maybe it has. So now let's try saying to do. Not found. So what this might be doing is falling back to another site, which is the reason I'm getting not found there. So let's try something else like podcasts, imagining that we're on the normal site. All right, we're also getting not found. Let's come back here and say, in my example server, and say art route list, and I'm going to make that compact, and then just sort of spit this out over here. It's to-dos plural. Is that what I said? Did I say to-dos plural? To-dos. Ha! It's working! Man, that was surprisingly easy. Man, Laravel Forge makes this so ridiculously simple. Okay, so now that that's up and running, let's check this in Postman. And all of you guys watching this, technically, you could actually check this as well. So let's open this up in Postman. Just give this a second to load. Once again, I really should throw this on the bottom screen, but no, totally doesn't matter. So now instead of making this .test, let's see if we go to QuasarCasts.com. Oh, but we're not doing blog anymore. That's all right. I just want to test if it works. So to do API, QuasarCasts.com. Oh, I won't save it. Now let's go to the body and a to-do. Maybe we should start with a to-do list. No, let's just start with a to-do. I think a to-do doesn't actually need a list. No, it actually does need a list. So let's say to-do-list. Remind ourselves of what we've got available for a to-do list by going into to-do.php. What am I doing? Concentrate, Luke. To-dos. So create to-dos table. What have we got? We got a label and whether or not it's complete. I really should have set a default on there equal to false on that migration. I might do that later. I might change this so that by default it just sets it to not complete. It'll just make API requests a bit easier. But anyway, that's fine. So all we'll need is a label and whether or not it's complete, and the IP should be set by default. Oh, but this is constrained. Oh, that's right. I want to look at a to-do list. Ugh, come on, Luke. To-do list table. All right, so we don't need a project. All we'll need is a label in order to get this to work. So let's open up Postman, and we want to set the label equal to my list. So let's send a request there. To-do list, plural. All right, not found. API, QuasarCast.com/to-do list. So what I might do now is just copy that, paste it in there just to check that I'm doing this correctly. All right, so what have I done in API.php? To-do_lists. Is that not how I did it? Oh, I did -list instead of underscore. There we go. Okay, so now let's go back to Postman and change this to an underscore. All right, so that worked. That created a to-do item for us, and this is on a live server. And now we can say to-do list. All right, so why is that not working for me? Maybe it's using, for some reason, a different IP with Postman. That wouldn't really make sense, would it? To-do list. Let's change this to a GET request. All right, so maybe for some reason Postman is giving it a different IP address. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to make it so that we're constantly purging the database. So I'm basically going to wipe everything from the database on a very regular basis. And the other thing I want to do is add in some rate limiting as well, just to make sure that this is a bit more secure. And then I'll kind of like move on from there. So what's the best way to do this? I'll probably just do it with an artisan command. Honestly, I think that's probably the simplest way. So let's say art make command. Oh, we need to give it a name. And we'll just call this wipe database. Cool. Let's jump into the wipe database command. And we'll so this DB. Maybe wipe database is a bad name because I think DB wipe is already a command. Art DB. Let's see what we've got. Whoops. Oh, cool. That takes you straight into the DB. What is it? Quit. I can't remember. Damn it. I didn't know you could do that. ArtDB will just log you straight into your database. Anywho, ArtDB, and we'll just say help here. I thought there was one called like ArtDB. Oh, maybe I need to say DB wipe. Let's see, ArtDB wipe. All right, so that is a command and it worked. Let's say art migrate now. So what I could do is I could just run the ArtDB wipe command every now and then. So I don't even need this wipe. Oh, no, because that's going to drop all the tables as well. So, okay, that's right. That's what I was getting at. Instead of calling this wipe database or whatever I called it, we should give it a different name, like clear database or clean data. Purge. Yeah, of course. That's what people tend to use, I think. Purge database. And really, I should call that purge database command. So I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to add the word command on the end. Cool. All right, so how about we say db purge? And then this is literally just going to... Actually, does Artisan already have a command for this? Hang on. I don't want to reinvent the wheel here. So let's jump up to our db commands. So that drops all the tables. That's definitely not what we want. Like, you'd think that there's an easy way to basically purge everything in the database. Maybe there isn't, and I'm literally just going to have to manually point to everything. I mean, another thing I could do is delete the current like, I could basically just delete this and build it again and migrate. No, okay, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. So we want to purge the database. You know what? For now, I'm just going to iterate over everything. And if any of you guys can think of a better solution to this, a better way to purge a database, in fact, let's just do a really quick Google. Laravel purge database or MySQL purge database. How can I empty a MySQL database? MySQL database, purge, removal. Okay, let's try that as well. Okay, that's telling me to drop it and create it. That's definitely not what I want to do. Deleting. It looks like this guy is just deleting specific things. Oh, yeah, this is definitely not what I'm looking for. This might actually not be possible, or at least not in a straightforward way. But you know what? I might be able to just drop the database and start it up again. So how about we say, what's the best way to do this? I think Laravel gives you access to the database. So let's go to the Laravel docs, and we'll say database. That's not what I'm looking for. Database. Query builder. How about Laravel drop database? I mean, some people might get affected while this is happening, but it really just doesn't matter. This is just for like testing purposes. So I think dropping the database and like creating it again is totally fine. So yeah, you know what? We could just do a migrate reset. I know it's like kind of dirty, but art migrate reset, something like that. Or art db wipe and then art migrate. That might even be a little bit faster, and it means that you don't have to deal with rolling back, which could like run us into problems, rather than doing a refresh. So yeah, I think that's what I'll go with actually. We're going to wipe the database and then we will migrate the database. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. So let's come back here and say run Laravel command. I just want to be able to run it like directly, writing commands. There should be a way to just generating. Pretty sure there's a way that you can just run a command. Oh, artisan command, and then you can just send through the name. Oh no, that's that's creating a command with a closure. So maybe we can say like Laravel run command in PHP. Like, because I know you can do it in task scheduling, so I just figured you'd be able to do it in other places as well. Well, why don't we just do that in a task? I mean, I don't need to have this entire command for it. It's overkill, really. So let's go into task scheduling. And now it's scheduling closures. You may also defining schedules. Okay, so it's in console kernel. So let's say console/kernel. I always forget this. Okay, so it looks like I've already kind of gone down this, like, delete old data. Yeah, but instead of subtracting a month, I might say subtract, I don't know, a day. So anything that is over a day old is going to be purged from the database. Or maybe a week. Let's start with a week and see how that goes to begin with. Oh no, because we decided that we're just going to purge the database just because it's simpler. Yeah, how about this? How about, have we got weekly there? Yeah, so every single week, we're going to run this artisan command that will basically purge the database. Can I do this? Schedule command. That's not really how I want to do it. I basically want to be able to say here. So we've got schedule call. Yeah, is there a way that I can put multiple commands inside of like a closure? Because that's really what I want to do, because I want to make sure that these are run in order. All right, I might go back to that old logic of putting it inside of my own Laravel command. And by the way, if anybody knows how to run a command from like a PHP file, then just yeah, let me know. And I want to know how to do it the Laravel way though. I mean, honestly, it would be so much better if I could do it this way. Or go over all of my models sort of one at a time and just delete them. But instead of post there, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to go with that. Sorry, I know I'm sort of like going back and forth here. So yeah, let's do that. So we'll get all the comments, projects, to-dos, to-do lists, and users. So comment, project, to-do list, and user. The problem with this approach is it means that I'm going to have to update this every time I add a new model. So I'm probably going to try and find a better approach than this in the future. But for now, I think this will do. What I could do is maybe I can find all the models within my application and look for the ones that have the scopes to request IP model class. That's probably a good way of doing it. But yeah, let's just stick with this for now. And I will simply call this every day, because now we're basically saying, hey, every day go through all of my models, and if they were created less than a week ago, oh, hang on, I always get confused with this logic. So let's just say the created at is 4 days ago, and if that is less than a week ago, then delete it. Yep, okay, I'm pretty sure that logic is correct. So now, what is it? There's like an art schedule run or something like that, running the scheduler. Yeah, here we go. But let's change this from day to something else just so I can test it out. Is there like a every minute? Yeah, every minute. Okay, so let's save that. We'll run this schedule again, but before I run that scheduler, let's say art tinker. Actually, instead of art tinker, let's say art db seed. So we're going to seed the database, and then we'll say tinker, and let's just say to do all to check that we have some data, and we do. So when I run this command now, after a minute's time, we should end up with no to-dos in our database. I don't know if you can do seconds here. I don't think you can. I think they limit it to minutes. So we're just going to have to wait a little bit. And we'll see it here. It'll show us when that command is actually being run. By the way, if anyone has a good idea of how I can wipe the database, which is surprisingly difficult to figure out a good way to do that, then please let me know in the comments. I don't like the idea of dropping the database and then, migrating it again. It's just, that feels really gross to me. I'd rather a cleaner solution. But then again, this is so much nicer because it means that people can play with their data for like a week and know that their data is still going to be up to date. Here we go. Looks like that's run now. I'm still getting to-dos. To-do we're created at is... Oh, because I said sub week. Oh, that's so silly of me. Now, and let's just say sub minute. Oh gosh, I have to save that. Run this again. And let's go tinker again. And wait a little bit to see if that's worked. I bet you there's like a better way to do this. I mean, and honestly, you know what? What I really should do is probably just try like running all of these inside of Tinker. And then if that works, then I can pretty much guarantee that the command is going to work. And really I should be doing testing, but I'm not. So get over it. Sorry, that was a little bit rude. Oh, we got an exception. So there's something that it doesn't like with what I've done. But we're getting no to-dos there. So where's that exception coming from? Oh, I don't think we have comments anymore. Do we? No, we do have the concept of a comment. So, Luke, maybe a good idea is... Oh, no, execution. I thought that said exception. All right, cool. It looks like that's working. So let's change that from sub-minute back to sub-week. And we're going to run this. We'll just run this every day. We don't have to run it any more regularly than that. Otherwise, it's overkill. Exit, and I think that's it. We now have a command that can basically delete all of our old data, so data that is over a week old. The other thing I want to do is rate limit our API. So let's just look up here, rate limit. There you go. Rate limiting, and this means that you can't just keep smashing the API. Can I do like a global rate limit? Rate limit is defined using the rate limit of... I thought there was a way that you could do this like directly using middleware. Rate limiting. Man, this is a really robust rate limiting system they've got here. That's pretty insane. Throttling with Redis, which we might have to do if the API ends up getting abused. Oh man, this used to be easier, but I don't know. I'm sure they've got a reason that they've done it this way. In fact, let me go into API, HTTP kernel. Yeah, so we do have a throttle on there. So I think there's a place. Maybe I'm just using the wrong wording here. Throttling. Queues, routing, throttling. Yeah, no, this falls under the umbrella of rate limiting. All right, I might just have to read this properly. Let's get started. Okay, so it looks like it's sitting in the route service provider. Here's our rate limiter, limit per minute. And we're going to rate it by the request IP. Yeah. So let's do it like this. And that basically means it's going to check the IP of the person that's making this request. And they're allowed to make 60 requests per minute. 60 per minute? Honestly, that sounds pretty heavy to me. I don't know why anyone would be... Well, let's think about this. They're testing pretty vigorously with their to-do items. Let's cut that in half to 30. I don't really see any reason somebody should be hitting our API any more than that. So let's come here. I'm going to change this back to test. And let's see if we can get that. Okay, what am I doing wrong here? I need to say sudo service nginx start. I haven't got my nginx server up and running. All right, let's see if that worked. We'll come back here to Postman, run this again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, now we're starting to get errors. Too many requests. Sweet. Okay, so we've got a rate limiter on there now. So I feel a little bit more comfortable having this live. So let's say git add dot, git commit, message, rate limiter, and what else did I do? Gosh, honestly, I don't even remember. Deleting old data. So we're going to push that, and then I'm going to jump into Forge and make sure that we've got a scheduler running. So how do I do the scheduler? I know I've done this before, so I think the way you do it these days is by simply having like a command. So let's say Forge and what we might do is we might jump back into the server. So let's go servers. API QuasarCasts.com. Scheduler. Here we go. What version of PHP are we using? Looks like we've got 8.0. And am I actually using 8.0? Let's go ahead and check that by SSHing back in there. And the best way to probably check is just to open it in Tinker. Even though they're different, they should be in sync. So API dot, we want to go to to-do -API. And we'll say art Tinker. Is that the best way to do this? I don't even know the best way to figure out what PHP version. Oh, you know what? It's actually going to tell me in Forge, I'm pretty sure. So let's say, where is it? Our to-do app. To do. And where is it? What am I looking for again? My brain is starting to shut down, which means it's almost time to take a break. PHP version. All right, so I happen to know that it would be PHP 8 because that's the version that I would have used when I first installed this, I think. I don't know. Why is this so difficult? Okay, so that means if I say PHP-V, that will give me the right version. So PHP 8 is what I will be using. In other words, now I can come back here. And I already know the latest version of Laravel is PHP 8 compatible anyway, so PHP 8 should be fine. As user Forge, how about we run this just daily, because that's all we need for now. We'll say nightly. We'll create this. Oh, I think that's literally it. Don't I have to say what the command does? It didn't. Oh, okay. I need to add in the command after that. Okay, so I didn't sort of read this properly. So then you say what the name of your command is. And for us, it's going to be, I believe I had it here. No, I probably had it up here. PHP artisan schedule work. So let's just copy that. Come back here and we can get rid of the PHP part because we've already got that. create, make that nightly. And there we go. So every night, PHP Artisan is going to be run, and it's going to say schedule work. And I bet you I didn't even use the right directory. Ah! Man, looks like I'm really just not using my brain today. So let's do this again. PHP Artisan schedule work. But we want to choose a directory for that. So how does it do it here? PHP. Okay, and you got to point to where Artisan is, of course. So that makes sense. And let me just do this in here so that I can make sure I'm in the right place. Can I do it that way, or does it recommend that I do it? Okay, it recommends that I use the full path. So that's probably going to be /forge /to-do dash. No, I'm not getting anything there. Oh, /home, sorry. /home cd /home /forge /to-do. Yep, okay, here we go. So I should be able to just copy that. And there we go. So PHP Artisan, making sure I'm running it in the right directory, schedule work. So let's go ahead and create that. Whew. All right. I'm pretty sure that should do it. And I think I can actually test that by simply copying this. And let's jump in here and run that command. Oh, I have to backspace all of this. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Hang on. No, not schedule work. Oh, so... Oh, okay, so this is a different way of doing it. So this is for scheduling jobs. So you can say run a command like every now and then. Whereas with the scheduler, oh man, what you want to do is you want to have a daemon. Right. And this daemon is basically going to run that command, and it will be running in the background. And I can even say what directory I want to run it in. So basically I can now cut that, paste it in there. So this is going to look a little bit nicer. All right, there we go. So now I can run that and just check that it's actually running. Man, I was in the wrong place. So schedulers allow you to run a command every now and then. And whereas a daemon allows you to run Laravel scheduler, which is then going to automatically do it every like X amount of seconds or minutes or whatever. All right, so let's show the daemon status. And it looks like it's running and it's working fine. And in my bottom screen here, I'm just going to say top, just to check the processes that are running and make sure that that is in fact running. Where is it? Okay, cool. So let's get out of that now. All right, I think that's pretty much everything I need to do, except, did I actually push this to production? Yep, it looks like I did. Let's just say git status to have a look. And everything looks fine there. So we now have a publicly available API that people using my course can actually access. And before I finish up for today, I actually want to test using this, this API in an application. So I'm actually going to jump out of there now, and we can jump out of the server, and let's cd into QuasarCast directory. Actually, we'll get out of there. Is it like Quasar getting started guide or something? I might just need to create a new one. I don't know if I ever created this. Anyway, let's cd into, no, I'll just create a new one. So Quasar create, and we'll call this Quasar getting started guide. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good name for it. And then we can say branch is equal to next because I want to get the latest version of Quasar. Version 2 is pretty stable, so I'm happy to pull in version 2. Oh gosh, I should probably do all this stuff properly. Product name, Quasar, getting started. A getting started guide for Quasar. I mean, sometimes this stuff feels overkill to me. Luke Diebold. Yep, we'll use Sass by default. Yes, I want linting. No, I don't want TypeScript. Yes, I want Vuex. Yes, I want Axios. No, I do not want Vue. Oh, actually, we're going to need that as well because I'll probably want to teach it at some point. So I'll pull that in. We've got the choice between Prettier and Standard. I always use Standard. Maybe I should start using Prettier because everyone else seems to be using it, but I want to find out why they're using it first. Yes, we're going to use Yarn for our local dependencies, and I like to mention this all the time. Use Yarn for local dependencies and NPM for global dependencies. That's what's recommended in the community. NPM for global, Yarn for local. And now I'm just going to test that I can hit these endpoints and start using them, and if it starts working, then I'm going to finish up this video. So this is really exciting. In the next video, I can actually start like on the getting started guide using the API, which will be really fun. I can't select that for some reason. Looks like my terminal is messing up. I don't know what that's all about. All right. Oh, I'm so excited. I think this is a really cool idea. I don't think we'll need that anymore. No, we're not going to need that anymore. All right, so let's cd in there. And now open it in Visual Studio Code. Now we can jump out of here. And now we can say Quasar dev to start developing. What? Quasar dev. What's going on? All right, worked that time. And once that dev server is up, I can then actually test if this is working. So let's go to index.view. And how about I have a button here? In fact, we'll do like a full form for this. Let's bring that over here. Oh, no, it's doing that dumb thing again where I can't use my hotkey. 1 sec, I just need to fix up my hotkey. I won't be a moment, and now I need to pull that out of there, throw that up there, put that up there, and now I can switch between the two. Okay, sweet. So now let's jump into that server, like, yeah, and take this baby for a spin. So we can probably do this side by side. I'll go ahead and just create a basic like create to do form using our globally available API. And those of you that are watching this, you can actually try using this API as well because it will be available to you to sort of mess around with. Okay, so let's have a crack at this. We'll just give this a title to begin with by saying h2. Actually, I might wrap all of this in a card. Oh, I get to write Quasar code, finally! Dash section, q dash input, and then we're going to model a piece of data which will be to do. Actually, we want to have to do list to begin with. So how about we say to do list, to do list form. Okay, we're going to extract this to its own component, but we're just testing it for now. So we'll say form dot label, because I think that's all we actually need for a to-do list. And then we can say label here is equal to do, literally it's just going to be label. So we'll say to-do list label. And now we can put in here maybe like a H5 that basically says to-do list, and this is going to be for creating a to-do list. Now, next thing I want to do is jump into my linter because I hate not having this linting functionality. You get this super sweet linting functionality if you set it up properly. Ah! Has it changed? No. Here we go. Yeah. So instead of Vue 3 Essentials, I like to use Vue 3 Recommended because now I can save it and I get all this like super magic stuff happening for me. Oh, and I get to use the composition API. Sweet. And now let's say setup. As you can see, I'm having a lot more fun now that we're kind of at this part. And we want to have like our data. So let's say const form is equal to a reference to an object, and the form has got a label, which will be an empty string by default. So we're going to have to pull ref out of here. I am going to be a little bit slow. Oh, yep, here we go. Things are starting to work. I'm going to be a little bit slow with the API, composition API, until I start using it more, because I spend all my time at work using the options API simply because we haven't moved on to the composition API yet. So I deserve a slap on the wrist for that. Why doesn't it like this? What am I doing wrong there? Form does. Yes, it does, doesn't it? And it's working. All right, so it looks like my lint is doing something weird. Anyway, that's fine. So that's literally all we need for a to-do list, but then we want to be able to spit out our to-do list at the bottom. So how about we create another card for fetching our to-do list, and we'll literally just like spit out the names of them all. And we'll call this show or fetch to-do lists. Oh, this is so exciting. So we won't have an input there, and we will have a Q-button. And then when you clicketh on thou button, it will handle fetch to do lists. Yeah, handle fetch to do lists. Nah, let's just sort it. Fetch to do. I'm just testing this. Why am I thinking about function names right now? And by the way, that's the label. At click is equal to fetch to do list, and the label is equal to fetch to do lists. Oh, this is so exciting. Okay, now we want to have a method exposed called fetch to do lists, and let's go ahead and create that. And that's literally just going to be equal to a function that is going to return Axios. Can I auto import that now? Ooh, nice. No, that didn't import properly. Let me just try that again, because it's importing the boot file. Can I just import the library directly like that? No, I did the same thing again. Man. What's this one? Weird. All right, so we're just going to have to import Axios like so. Import Axios from Axios. I don't really like this plugin that tells me like the gzipped and all that, because it doesn't like account for tree shaking and all of that. So it's kind of useless to me, to be honest. Is that working? Yep, that's working. So now Axios.get, and then now we'll probably just have like the API URL here, like const. We'll do something like really silly for now by just hard coding that in, and it is to-do-api.quasarcasts.com/ well, that's it, I think. Yeah, do I want to include the slash? No, I won't include the slash. Okay, so then we'll say get, and then we'll make that a template string, I reckon. And we'll say API slash to-do_lists. Then we'll take in that response, and then we'll say const to-do list is equal to an empty array to begin with. And then we'll say response, and that's got to be a reference to an empty array. And then we can say to-do list.value, because that's how you have to do it in the composition API. You have to add in .value there, is equal to response.data, response.data.data. And the reason we've got data twice there is because data gives us the data, but then it's nested in a field called data. This is very common when you're using APIs. It like looks disgusting, but it's just the way it is. In fact, if you want to like clean it up, I guess you could say like, that doesn't make it any cleaner. Never mind. All right, so now we should be able to have to-do list. So let's expose that now, and then we'll come up here and then basically just spit them out here in a pre-tag. Like, yeah. All right, so we get nothing by default. Let's change this to a column. And there we go. We'll add a little bit of a margin at the top here. Q-margin top, and we'll set that to large, I think. Yep, so now we can create it but now we need an actual button to create that. Q-button. Whoops, I don't know what I did wrong there. Q-button. There we go, just had to wait a second. And we'll say label is equal to create, and then we'll say at click equals handle create to do. Let's remove the word handle. We're just doing like dummy stuff for now, so let's keep it super simple. All right, we got that create button, and let's add a little bit of a margin top of medium there. Create to do. Now we need to actually have that method. And so let's come down here and say const create to do is equal to a function. And I know I'm doing things in a weird order here, but that's just because I'm sort of riffing at the moment. And then this function is also going to have an Axios post. But now we're going to go to post to-do list, but then we need to have the second option to be form.value. All right, so when we say create to do a post request to-do list, and then using the form's value, so basically the entire form, that's the data that I want to send along. Now response, for now we could probably just say to-do list.value. Can I say .push? Yeah, I could probably just do that. And we don't need to say .data because nothing is nested in the response of this. And now we need to expose that function. My list, and let's see what errors we get. All right, nothing seemed to happen there. Oh my gosh, it worked. Fetch to do. Okay, let's see if I refresh the page now. Fetch to do list. Oh, yes. Oh, that is so cool. And this is scoped to my IP address. So if you did this, you would actually have it scoped to your IP address. So you wouldn't be getting my to-do list. You'd be getting your own to-do list. Oh, man, this is so cool. Okay, let's try another one. My other to-do list. Okay, no, you know what? We need to have a spinner. I'm sorry. This is going to happen. So how about we say creating to-do list. All right. And then we can say const creating to-do list is equal to a reference. And we're going to set that to false by default. And then we can come down here and say, when we go to create it, we say creating to-do value is equal to true. So basically it's saying we are creating it. And then when it's done, we can set that to false to say that we are done creating it. So now we've got this spinner here, creating to-do lists. And I can come up here and we can say loading is equal to creating to-do list. Super awesome. Okay, so when we click on that button, we should now have a loader showing up. Make me create. We get the loader. Ah, so cool. Now let's fetch to-do lists. There we go. So we get all of the ones, my list and make me. What else? Now when I click on fetch to-do list, I want to have a spinner for that as well. And of course, all of this would sit in its own components. I'm just getting a little bit excited here and doing a little bit of extra work. So how about we say here, fetching to-do lists, plural, false by default. When we go to fetch it, we say .value is equal to true. We'll copy that, and then when we're done, we will set it to false. Save that, and make sure we expose it as well. And then we can come up here, and then we can put loading on there. Woohoo! Let's see if it works. We get the loader. And then when it's done, it shows us all. All right, so last thing, I promise. I'm just really excited about this. So we've got to-do lists. So how about we just iterate over them by saying Q dash list, and then Q dash item, and then, oh, I was a little bit too fast for my editor. Item, this is why I miss Sublime sometimes. Q dash item dash section. And then we can just basically spit out the to-do in there. So now we can say v-4 to-do list in to-do list. And then we can set the key equal to to-do list.id. So let's just save that. I'm going to undo that just because it closed off this tag. And then I can say to-do list dot, I believe it was title. So let's whack that in there. All right, so that is blatantly not working. Oh, it's label, isn't it? Label. Let's try fetching that again. Let's look at the network and see if we're getting anything there in our network request. To-do lists. Now I'm getting no data. This tells me that my job might be running and doing some funky stuff on the back end. I mean, my IP address wouldn't have changed or anything like that. All right, so let's try just this. Make to-do list. Let's say fetch to-do list. All right, that was weird. So when I create a to-do list, let's go to create to-do. I mean, I just wanted to test it's working, and I've tested that now, but I'm just getting excited. Excited! All right. Value.push. We're pushing the data of that directly in there. So let's refresh this page and run that again. Am I getting rate limited? Connection error. Weird. All right, let's refresh the page. Now it is working. It's almost like my IP address is changing. This might have something to do with the rate limiter. I don't know, to be honest. Like maybe just something is wrong with the server. Yeah, weird. I don't know, or maybe I'm doing this wrong. To-do list.value. No, that's taking in the data correctly. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like it's kind of working though, so let's refresh this. Try fetching them again. Now it just seems to be just working. All right, I'll take that. Another item. All right, but it doesn't show up correctly when you push it that way. I thought that with the new version of Vue, I could just do this. I could just say value.push. To-do list.value. So that gives us the to-do list array. And then I want to push onto that array the response data. And we don't have Vue showing up there because I've currently got the other version of the Vue CLI tool installed. All right, it's working well enough. I mean, I'm kind of bummed out that I kind of have to run that again, and I'm getting some really weird results here. Okay, so it looks like there's something wrong with the scheduler. Hang on, let's go back to the API code. That's all right. This is kind of the point, I guess. We test it out and see if it works. QuasarCasts.com, cd into the to-do API, and let's open that up. I might, in hindsight, I might want to make this a bit bigger. So maybe like, nah, 30 should be enough. I don't think the rate limiter is the problem. The problem is my data is getting purged on a way too regular a basis. So we go into kernel here. This is the scheduler. Oh, every day. It should be every day. But that's weird. I would assume that this code would just not run correctly at all in that case. And let me just do some quick figuring out here. So let's say today is the 28th of March, we'll say 2021. and we subtract a week from that, or let's just imagine we subtract a few days, and we end up with, I don't know, the 22nd of March, 2021. Now, I want to say where the date that it was created is less than the date subtract a week. Let me try running this in Tinker. So if I say now is equal to carbon now, and I say later is equal to carbon now. So we've got now and we've got later. So I don't even know how to check this. I feel like my logic here is wrong. Oh, here's a way that I can check it. Let's say factory, let's say to do factory, to do, what would I say, to do list factory create. All right, so that creates a just do. And now let's say to do where created at is less than carbon now subtract a week. Get. Oh, what have I done wrong? Oh, I've done it again. I need to say carbon now. So I think I've inverted my logic. I remember dealing with dates in the past, and I get so confused by this. And I think that should actually be a greater than sign. No, that gives me nothing as well. I'm so confused. I am so confused. Oh, because we're dealing with dates here. We're not dealing with things like no. Oh, wait, it wasn't a to-do I created. It was a to-do list. Oh, geez, Luke. To-do list. So where it's greater than. All right, so the logic here really should be that it's greater than, but I said less than here. I honestly cannot even wrap my head around this logic. So comment where created at, the date that it was created, is greater than, so let's just imagine that. So that has to be greater than. Oh, okay, then that for it to be deleted. Man, I hate dealing with dates. This is like totally done my head in. But basically I wrote the totally the wrong code here, which is I was saying less than when it should have been greater than there. I can't even explain how I just figured that out. It's one of those things where it's like right at the tip of your mind. Oh, man. All right. Dates. Git add dot. Maybe it's actually easy and I'm just a bit of a dumb, but I don't care. I'll take that. If I have problems with it, other people probably do as well. So, fix date to now comparison. All right, push that, and I'm pretty sure I set up automatic deploys, so everything should be working now. Oh, crazy. But then again, yeah, now it should only be running. Also, this should only run every day now. I think because I wrote that function wrong, it was just running like constantly or something. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's give that a second just to make sure that that's run. I should get nothing here now because they should all be gone. Yep. So let's say item 1. And look, I really should check this on Forge. Otherwise, it could have totally failed and I wouldn't even know. To do-api.QuasarCasts.com. And yeah, quick deploy is on. So let's view that latest. I don't even need to view it. I'm just going to assume that worked. Item 1. Once again, I do not know why this is not showing up the correct data there. Am I hitting the right endpoint? Maybe that's the problem. Oh, I can probably get out of this now. Whoops. What? What did I change? I don't feel like I changed anything. I didn't, so I'm going to say don't save. All right, let's get out of that. And jump back into our other application. So this is to-do lists that we're creating. So how about once we've done that, we console.log to-do list.value. Just to check what we end up with. Oh, by the way, we'll fetch that again. Looks like it's working. Wait, make to-do list. Oh, some weird stuff is going on. Create 1, create. Oh, whoops. Wait, to-do list dot value. So I can't log that. I don't even know how to log stuff using the composition API. All right, there we go. There's our data. Okay, yeah, the target is an array of data. Oh, so it is data.data. All right, that's my problem. When you're creating something, it still needs to be data.data. So it is still nested sort of one level deeper. So that should actually work now. Let's refresh this. And maybe we should just fetch the to-do list on load. So how about we do this? Fetch to-do lists. And we'll just call that when we first load the component. There we go. Beep. Boop. Bop. By the way, this is not going to work because I need to run that scheduler again. That scheduler is not, it's still going to be using the old code. I just realized that. So we're going to have to come back in here, open up Forge. But it looks like all of this is working, which is super awesome. What am I doing? I'm going to the daemon, not the scheduler. That's what confused me before. And we're going to say, instead of restart, I'm just going to stop it for a second and then start it, just in case restart does something that sort of caches a previous version of the app, which it probably doesn't, but I'm going to do that anyway. There we go. It's been stopped. Let's start that daemon again. And now I am predicting that I will not end up with these old sort of like weird data problems anymore. Nice. Another list. Create. And look, I just can't help it. I'm going to create a delete button as well. Delete to do list. Axios dot delete, and then we'll put in the ID there. Oh, but then I need to do all the stuff like cutting it out. No, I'll do this at another time. Oh, I got a little bit carried away. So there we go. I've now got everything set up. Can you imagine me now being able to teach a tutorial series where the user just has to put in the API endpoints? They don't even need to set up a backend, and it's just going to work for them right out of the box. Really, really cool. I've basically just got this API that's available for everyone to just use. Yeah, I think that's awesome. And let's just see if we can append now. Append. And that will just show up at the bottom here. Yeah, wow. So that means I don't even need this fetch to-do list button. So we could say here to-do list. and get rid of this fetch to-do list button because it's just going to fetch on load. That is so nice. That is so, so nice. I love that I'll be able to teach it in this way now. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to go chill. I might stream a little bit later on. I don't know. See how I feel. But yeah, thanks for following along with me. And maybe later on tonight I'll do another stream where we basically flesh out this idea a little bit more. I'm going to be building quite a comprehensive to-do app simply because this tutorial series needs to touch on everything that Quasar has to offer, at least the basics, sorry, of what Quasar has to offer. So we'll be dealing with stuff like layout, using a whole bunch of different components, boot files, middleware with SSR. There's a whole bunch of tiny little bits and pieces that I'm going to have to do to explore everything, like dealing with routes. All of the basics of Quasar is what I want to cover in this to-do app series. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream. But before I go, check out QuasarCasts.com/register and join me in some videos. Join me on my journey so that we can create some cool stuff together. So thanks for watching. QuasarCasts.com/register, and I will see you in the next